Hello everyone and welcome to the next in our series of daily origami for YouTube. Today we're going to continue with our theme of looking at some traditional origami, and today we're going to make an insect cage. I would love to see, I wanted to try to research it. I can't find anything in English about it. I'll have to see if I could find something in Japanese sometime, but I would love to see if this was something that was actually used, for example, during the Edo period, where kids would maybe make these little cages and use them to house insects inside. I think that's a really neat thing to kind of think about. But this particular project, we're just using a square piece of origami paper. I'm going to be using standard origami paper, which is 15 by 15 centimeters. I'll let you guys know the dimensions of everything when we're done. It just makes a really cool kind of variation of a balloon, actually. So we're going to go ahead and start first with our water bomb base. So if I go ahead and start with my color side facing down, fold the paper in half diagonally both ways here into a big triangle. That way we know where our center is. Then with the color side facing up, fold your paper in half both vertically and horizontally. Open it and look at the color side. Find opposite sides here of those mountain creases. Make sure everything's kind of going the way it was. And you could just sort of put a little pressure and shimmy everything around until you get to this nice little triangle. Now we're going to go ahead and make sure that the pointed side is facing down. And I'm going to take each of these points and fold down towards the bottom center. So I'll fold down these front two here. Flip it over, do the same thing in the back. Then I'm going to take each of these little flaps that I have here and I'm just going to roll it out a little bit at a little angle. It's going to create some nice little legs for this. So you can start up here at the top and just sort of roll it out a little bit. And you could choose how far you want to make that crease. It doesn't need to be very big. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side too. Try to mirror, what you've got here so that you can kind of get the similar kind of fold going. And then flip it over. We're going to do the same thing on this side too. This side's a little easier because we've got the other ones from the front to use as a guide so that we can kind of just match everything up here. So we get those four folded out. Then I'm going to take each of these sides here and I want to fold it in towards the center, but I want to be able to actually just get it to go to this edge. And you could either start by getting it underneath first, or you can keep it straight if you prefer. But we want to try to keep this new edge we're making here parallel to the center. And that could be a little tricky, but we want to try to get it at a point here. You could kind of imagine you're shooting this point straight towards the other side a little bit as you do this. But we can kind of get everything sort of folded over here, hopefully creating an edge that's sort of parallel to that. And then we're just going to tuck that inside there. And then I'm just going to repeat that step on this side too. A good way to know if you're getting it parallel is to kind of look the space that's left behind here. If that looks like a nice even edged triangle, then you know you're kind of doing the right thing. But we're just going to get all four of these sides completed where we get that little tiny bit of a fold in and just tuck it under this edge as we do this. I'll do this last side too. So that we have something that looks like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the top part here and fold straight down, even with the edge that I just made. And you can have it go both ways if you want to kind of help make sure so that when we blow it up like a balloon, we've got a good crease going. I also can go ahead, if you want, you can lift up these legs because I don't really want a crease on those, but I'm just going to fold up this bottom edge down here too and get a good crease going on that part as well. And that'll help so that when we blow this up, we can get a nice shape. Go ahead and open the edges and you've got a nice little hole up here. We're just going to blow into that. And then I'm just going to smooth out all the edges so that I can get a nice kind of container here. And depending on, you know, how far these parts are folded out and everything, you'll get a little slightly different shape for stuff here. But that gives me a nice little standing, supposedly a little container for bugs. I have no idea. Maybe it's just meant to look like the traditional container for bugs. I don't know. I need to research that, but you never know. So that's our little kind of thing with little legs on it. The general shape of this is about 4.5 centimeters square. Now that's because of the way I angled this part out, and depending on how you did that, you might get slightly different dimensions for this. But the box area is 4.5 centimeters square, and in terms of height of how tall it stands about 5 centimeters tall. That kind of gives you an idea of the dimensions for this finished project. And that is our finished insect cage, which is our finished project for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.